Welcome back to the Build Bodies podcast. My name's Alan Jaramillo. I'm the host, and in this podcast, we talk about how to make fitness a lifestyle instead of a crash course while building your body. And it's been a while, guys. It has been about 4 weeks since I've published an episode, and I basically took that time off. I went to the beach, went to New Jersey, back to Pennsylvania as well. That's where I'm from. And I basically just took some time off from work too. I didn't make too much content while I was there. I didn't record any podcasts or anything like that. And that was just kind of like the space that I needed to think back as to like what I really want this podcast to be about, what I want it to represent. So expect a little bit of a different direction moving forward. I do want to cover current events in the health and fitness space, as well as trends going on, things that celebrities are saying, tabloids are saying. Is it true? Is it not? Does it have any validity to it? This is something that I personally think will help the audience of this podcast, whoever's listening, just to have a better insight on how to build your body, of course, and, stay on top of things. Okay. It's very easy for us to get a lot of misinformation out there. And I definitely want this podcast to be a source of proper evidence-based information, as well as practical application, so that you can build your body and, build the body of your dreams. Okay. So in today's episode, just to kick things back off into this new direction that we're going into, I'm going to share the 4 positive benefits that I've personally noticed from building my body. And I want to say dream body because honestly, if you would have told me that I would have been able to build up this amount of muscle mass with the proportions that I have today, if you were to tell me that 11 years ago when I started, I would say that I've achieved, my dream body. Now, obviously, I am not satisfied, and you're never going to be satisfied on what your body looks like. But I feel like I've reached a point in strength, size, body fat percentage where I feel just amazing in my skin. And I want you to experience that too. So this is basically kind of like a sales presentation on why you should actually prioritize your health and fitness. There's a lot of positive outcomes that come from building this amazing body that can do amazing things. And you might be coming from a place right now where you're maybe just like on step number 1 or chapter 1 of your fitness journey. I want you to understand that you're in the right fucking place. Okay. I coach people all the time. I have direct experience with getting people started from absolutely zero and getting them to be amazing athletes. And that's really what this podcast embodies. And I wanted to share the very first note here, which is confidence. Building my body has allowed me to build tremendous amount of confidence, and my confidence, I will say, is a work in progress. Okay. It's not like you build your body and then you all of a sudden become this person, but it has more to do with keeping promises to yourself. And what I mean by keeping promises to myself, I mean, if I tell myself I'm going to go work out tomorrow morning, or if I tell myself I'm not going to cheat on my diet or something like that, and I keep that promise, that builds a tremendous amount of confidence in your word, okay? Think about the last time that you set a goal and you came up short. Think about the last time you told yourself you were going to do something, but you fell short. This self-talk, this behavior is important, okay? It's very, very crucial that you have positive self-talk, but as well as you keep promises to yourself, because if you're breaking promises to yourself, you're not going to feel very confident in your ability to produce anything. A body, a life for yourself in the future. And this podcast is made for people who want more than definitely just to build their body. You want to have a great life. And that's what building your body will directly, allow you to do. The more promises you keep to yourself in relation to building your body, in relation to keeping on track with your diet, in relation to staying accountable, that will directly translate into other things in your life. Because when you make a commitment with your fitness, you can also simultaneously make commitments in other areas of your life. Number 2, how people perceive me. Now, this is a hot topic because I am definitely not someone who likes to speak about myself from like a bragging perspective. And I don't see this as bragging. I'm saying this to you, the viewer, because I feel like it's very important for you to hear. People perceive you way fucking differently when you have a physique that you've built up and spend a lot of time investing in. And the reason I say that is because I've had firsthand experience of people giving me compliments on the beach, by the pool. A lot of the dads come up to me and say, like, they just make funny jokes about it. And this is something that personally makes me very uncomfortable because I am naturally not an outspoken person. I speak very well on camera, but when I'm out in public, like, this is kind of like my way to kind of branch out and like be myself. But when I'm out in public, I'm very quiet. I'm very reserved. I don't go out of my way to say hi to people. And that's not a confidence thing. It's just that I'm a very reserved individual and I don't share things with people unless I really have something to say. So it makes me a little bit uncomfortable to even share this because, receiving compliments is something that I grew up not really hearing too much of. I never really heard compliments growing up. And so hearing them now as I'm 26 years old is just, a little bit uncomfortable, right? But I want you to know that building your body, you can experience these things too, and how people perceive you, not just from a vain perspective, but how they respect you. I've noticed a tremendous difference since I've started building my body and how other men, treat me, how they, respect me in certain ways. They don't cross boundaries. And I think that it's very important to understand this one topic because as a male, a lot of us just want respect. Okay. And I'm not speaking from a perspective of like, yeah, you got to fucking respect me. Like, you piece of shit, I'm not in that camp. Okay. I'm saying just from a general perspective of respect, when people notice what you've built for yourself and what people notice all the work that you've done, they treat you differently. Okay. They look at you differently. And you might think that that's fair or not fair, but that's just how it is because we are visual people, right? If you look at someone, you're going to notice a lot of things about them. And I kind of wish that the world wasn't like this, but at the same time, that's just kind of what we are. We all have different judgments that we place on people when we first meet them. And if you're someone who really, likes to give off a very good first impression, or you like to be respected in certain aspects and different elements, then I think that building your body is one of the great first things to do to start building that because it will directly change how people view you, how people see you, how people respect you in different areas of life, whether it be in the gym, whether it be in the office, whether it be when you're talking to customers, when you're out and about greeting people, okay? It is very, very important, I think, for men all over the world to experience this feeling of just like you walk around and you're confident in the fact that you've built something for yourself. And it's just an incredible feeling that I think most men should feel, okay? And I hope that this message doesn't come across in an egotistical way. I am by no means that type of person. I don't walk around like I fucking own the place or anything like that. I'm a very humble guy. And I truly mean that. And I don't say this for anyone to start building your body and expect immediate respect. I've just noticed a direct correlation with me building my physique and how other males treat me. And it's also the same thing with women as well. So let's get into number 3 here, which is mastering self-discipline. Mastering self-discipline is one of those things that will directly correlate to other areas of your life. And I haven't mastered self-discipline because there's still things that I do today that I let myself down. I told myself I was going to go on a bike ride this week, like a long 1 hour plus bike ride. I didn't make it. Okay. But there's other areas that I'm still winning on, like showing up to the gym. I completed all my gym sessions this week. I went out to multiple restaurants and still tracked my macros through that. So me continuously showing up for myself and mastering the art of saying no to some things and yes to other things, I'm telling you guys, if you master that shit, you feel unfucking stoppable. Okay. Like imagine maybe you're addicted to like porn. Maybe you're addicted to Netflix. Maybe you're addicted to all of these other things that don't serve you. Okay. They're things that just suck energy out of you. Okay. When you master the ability to say no to some things and you say no despite how other people around you feel or pressure you to do something, I'm telling you right now, that is when you really truly experience freedom at its fullest fucking extent. Okay. And this is a little bit weird of a fitness topic to mix in with building your body, but I feel like it goes hand in hand. Building your body and building self-discipline to not skip workouts, to not skip out on your diet. And you're basically just caring about your well-being, and you have enough discipline to disassociate what's going to add to that, what's going to add to your well-being, what's going to make your life better, and what is going to take away from it, what's going to drain you, okay? Think of all the different addictions that humans have nowadays, right? Like it's mind-boggling to see how many people let the opinions of others control their lives, drugs control their lives. And again, I have sympathy for alcoholism and people who are addicted to drugs. I think it's a horrible thing. However, I want to totally just make that known. But I also just think that like a lot of people that could really benefit from building their dream body, and that will allow them to have discipline to say no to some things and yes to other things that directly impact their life. Because a lot of us are distracted nowadays. And I'm going to make a whole nother video on, what I would call death by 1,000 cuts, where it's like you have so much information, you have so many things pulling you in different directions that you can't even fill your own cup up yourself. Whether, you're a father, whether you're a student, whether you're someone just, being ambitious in your career. A lot of us have different priorities in life, and a lot of us have different focuses that we want to give our time to, right? Now, we can couple those focuses with a fitness journey that's going to allow us to just stay even more focused and narrow down the direction that we want to head in. I hope that makes sense for a lot of viewers, okay? Now, the last one is that building my dream body definitely allowed me to make more money in my career, okay? And the reason I say that is because I am a business owner, but I talk to a lot of people that are clients of mine, that are salesmen, entrepreneurs, people that work in companies that are just trying to work up the ranks. And I've received a lot of feedback over the years that building their body allows them to be more confident, allows them to make more money because they show up to, whether it be a sales call, whether it be a sales presentation, whether it be a presentation just to their internal team inside of a corporate company. They've been able to show up to these different events with way more confidence, a lot better ability from like a cognitive standpoint. They've been able to like show up and be focused, like very sharp. And if you look at a lot of the most successful people on the planet, you can totally see that they have a routine. No one needs to look like a bodybuilder or anything like that to be considered in shape. I'll tell you straight up, okay? That's a myth. But taking care of yourself, preventing yourself from becoming obese, can totally fucking change your entire life from a cognitive standpoint, how you think, your ability to, assert yourself in a room where you need to be an authority figure. I think that it's one of the biggest game changers ever when it comes to making more money. And there's a lot of people who would totally say the same thing. They will say, like there's millionaires and billionaires out there that basically would say like one of the first steps that they would take to making more money and starting a business is to take care of your body first. Because when you're handling the daily stressors of life, whether you have a job, whether you run a business, whether you're a father, whether you're a mother, whether you're taking care of, your loved ones, if you have a fit background, you are much better prepared to handle stress. You're better prepared to move better if you ever need to. Think about moving, think about helping a loved one who's, elderly. These things are things that people don't really think of now, but they usually come to these conclusions later on in life. And when I talk to people and clients online through the check-in process that we have at the Built Bodies coaching program, I can fully see why they signed up for the coaching in the first place. And a lot of people have different reasons. Sometimes it's as simple as just wanting to lose 20 to 30 pounds. Other times where they were very scared during the COVID pandemic because they were at a much higher risk of not doing well with that virus. And they were at a much higher risk of getting sick in the first place. And they're already dealing with other things working against them, like high blood pressure and losing weight and getting this closer to their dream body will directly allow them to fight off things much easier, more efficiently over time. And that's one thing that I don't think that people think of right now, but they usually hits them later on in their life. So, if you're someone who really wants more out of your life, I want you to take these 4 big things that you can receive from getting your dream body and really put yourself in the future, do things today that your future self will thank you for. And I think that you will never regret that decision to do that. And here's the other thing too. A lot of people who work out regularly, people like me, it comes a little bit easier to us. I'm not going to sugarcoat it because I think lifting's fun, right? But I used to not think lifting's fun. And you won't really ever think that it's fun and be able to stick with it much easier until you get to the point where you're making very consistent progress, and then you become addicted to making progress, right? And I bet you there's something else in your life that you make progress in that you love to see, right? You actually look forward to doing that thing. Maybe it's like a video game. Maybe it's some other thing like books. You like working through books and you like seeing the progression of how much you've read and how much you've learned over the year, right? The same thing can be applied to fitness. It's just a matter of getting started first, having that self-discipline to get yourself in the weight room, and then building up from there, okay? The first several years, I was totally on and off, okay? I was very much splitting time between the gym, partying, eating a lot of junk food. I come from a Latino background, so it definitely didn't make it easier to keep weight off. So I was always just battling this internal dialogue in my head of like, I want this thing. I want to build my body. I want to prioritize my health, but I have all these other distractions in my life. And it wasn't until year 5, 6, 7, 8 where I started to dial in my focus and get away from different distractions in my life that allowed me to build my body more and more and more. So that's going to conclude this podcast. I hope this podcast finds you well. Again, I am taking a little bit more of a different direction with the podcast moving forward. So if you have any additional feedback on different things that you would like to see in the future regarding the episodes moving forward, please feel free to comment down below if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're watching on Spotify, it would mean the absolute world to me for you to leave a review on 5 stars and tell me something about yourself. I'm not sure if Spotify lets you leave like words, but if you read them, I will like it and try and comment back, okay? And if not, you can just do that on YouTube. But have a great rest of your day. Hope to talk to you soon, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.